Welcome back. Welcome back to another Beeline to Passports. My name is Joe Batista. I'm your host. And tonight we have an actor and lifestyle model. His name is Mr. Dean Phillippi Sr. Dean, welcome to Beeline to Passports.
Hello, welcome. Great to be here. Thank you so much.
Dean, like every show, we ask our guests to let us know how everything started.
Yeah.
Your childhood, education, all that great stuff that the people see how Dean start in this career.
Yeah, sure. I'd be glad to. Um, I watched a lot of movies and TVs growing up, and my sister and I, we used to simulate a lot of things that we saw on TV, the comedy shows or whatever it may be. And uh, I guess I started doing a drama in the high school, and there I got hooked on it. I really wanted to do more. So when I got out of high school, I started doing things with theater, local stage. I traveled to Nashville, Tennessee, from here in Jacksonville, Florida, and then over to Evansville, Indiana, to do stage plays. And then I've done some stage plays here in Jacksonville as well. So I got the fever from doing it then. And then it was on a dare. I worked with some guys, and they challenged me to audition for a film TV series that they were doing here in Jacksonville called Point Man, and that was with Jack Scalia. And they kept doing it over and over, kept challenging me and daring me, so I did it. And I auditioned, and I did get the role as a police officer. So, and then I just saw everybody, and I talked to everybody and the actors, and they gave me a lot of things that they're doing, things that recommendations such as going to acting classes. So that's when I dove right into acting classes. And before that, I worked at a steel mill in Pennsylvania. I'm from Washington, Pennsylvania. It's a little town below Pittsburgh, and the steel mill shut down. So I came down to Florida with my sister family. They were living here, and Blue Cross Blue Shield hired me and moved me down. So after 30 years working with Blue Cross Blue Shield, I dove into acting classes. So and I'm still doing them off and on now currently. So it was a blessing because as soon as I started my last class, uh, I started getting opportunities, as you mentioned, that happened to you for commercials.
Yes.
And then I started doing locally here in Jacksonville. They do a lot of short films. They do the 48 hour you may have heard of or short film festivals. So I started doing those. And then we're not in I guess, a popular area that does feature films. As you know, the Florida Film Incentives is not in place. And when they
Correct.
were here, we were getting a lot of work that came here, especially to Jacksonville, with our beaches, and then St. Augustine, obviously, and uh, Fernandina Beach, and all that around up the coastline. So I dove into doing feature films here that were independent films here in the local area, North Florida. And then obviously, in order to do bigger and better films, I had to travel a lot. So
Correct.
so so I did a lot of that. So here's hoping that the film incentives come back in place here in Florida. I know we're all praying for that to happen, and it sounds like it's working its way up, but we shall see. And so anyway, I got the fever. I love doing it. And then I have to be very honest. I did a variety of films, uh, but my heart was wanting to do more faith-based Christian films. and it just didn't seem to be a very predominant thing here. You had to
Correct.
travel. So
Yeah.
yes, I had to I had to travel to do those, and which I'm glad I did because in this business you have to network quite a bit. You have to know and meet people. And if you're familiar with the International Christian Film and Music Festival that's in Orlando,
Yes.
I started attending that, and there I met a lot of great people. And it was to my surprise that wow, you know, this is international, and they're making these faith-based films predominantly throughout the United States. So I connected with them, and then sure enough, I was able to get cast for some of the films and work with them. And to this day, that is my preference. That is my goal in life to do faith-based films. I love doing them. It's such an honor to do a film that's a blessing when it's done. It reaches out to a family, not just a particular people, but just the entire family can watch it and you feel good about it. It's not, challenging as far as the verbiage or anything to that matter. And then too, working on the sets, they're prayer warriors. Okay. So every
Yes.
day we hold hands together and we pray together and we talk about, do you have any prayers that you would like to have that we can pray for you and then pray about that day and go about the workload. So that's exciting. That builds camaraderie and you just love working with that kind of people and it's very honorable to do faith-based films. It's such a pleasure and doing things all in favor to God.
Amen.
I've seen where some of my films have touched lives. My grandfather would tell me growing up, he would say, for every man that you lead to God, there's a crown and glory awaiting you. And, that's
Amen.
to this day, I still remember that. It's a true statement. If the film can touch one person or, make them think about things, change their lives, uh, that's awesome. And trust me, I've been on a set where some of the crew, we were filming one of the films that was faith based, and it was in a church. And so they were going back editing the film quite a bit, and they weren't believers. And after seeing the editing and us talking about the script and God and faithful and how lives change, they come in one morning when we were filming and asked to hold hands and pray for him, and he wanted to be baptized. So
Yes.
that was awesome, So
Yeah. That's some I've been like you doing some uh secular and also Christian movies.
yeah,
Uh, I did one I always gonna remember for the rest of my life. Did one then when I was doing the casting. I did a
hmm
casting, virtual casting. You know that is the modern world now. You
uh-huh.
need to have your camera, and they watch you and all these things. Um, when they called me, oh yeah, your book perfect. Let's go and do all of this. That was here in Orlando. That
Yeah.
was November last year,
Okay.
and I didn't know who was the main character
Uh-huh.
until I show up. And when I get there, they have the green room for the main characters or the stars,
Yeah.
and they have for the extras and the rest of the crew that go to another area. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the director came and he said, "I want you to learn the scripts. Let's send him the script. Then he's gonna have a part with this person."
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know who was the person.
Uh-huh.
Well, was Mr. Kevin Sorbo.
Oh my. Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah. And when I saw that, like, okay, Hercules, all right, let's do this.
Yeah.
And I got an opportunity and Karen Abercrombie.
Uh-huh.
She was the other main character, and we did this, and there was only to go and work only one day, and we ended with 3 days
Oh,
filming.
wow.
And they gave me the script, and they still filming right now because there was stop for the pandemic,
Yeah.
and they start filming in Europe,
Wow.
Asia. They moved to Florida, and they did these parts here, these scenes here in Florida, and then they went to UK to finalize the Egypt first, and then to the UK to
That's a big
finalize.
production.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
there was a big, 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 big. I just waiting for that movie comes because they're gonna be so awesome to see. There was the cast for a background and
Yeah.
support character. Uh,
Yeah.
that was that was an awesome. And also with the JC Films, I did. I was part of a Ghost Trader. Um,
Okay.
the
Yeah.
JC Films that they do. They been doing several
Yeah.
movies here, and they looking to do a TV series.
Yeah.
As well. They've
Okay.
been working on all that great stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we continue doing on secular as well because
Yeah.
like you mentioned, they have more opportunities in the state right now.
Yeah.
Most South Florida
Uh-huh.
is very busy, or the St. Pete area,
Yeah.
St. Pete, Tampa area
Yeah.
in BC, with Lifetime over there in the St. Pete area, and I did two series. One was is on air right now
Yeah.
with the name is very bad. The name is rap shit. Is the
Uh-huh.
name is a story about female rappers.
Okay.
It was a series, and it's on Apple TV right now,
Yeah.
and on air Apple TV in that was filmed in Miami, and they basically in post production another. Then it's called Bad Monkey. In that one, I was a police officer. I don't know why I always cast for a security police officer or uh, pastor. It's part of the business, you know.
Well, you
You
got
need,
to look.
yeah, you need to go all around. All
Yeah.
right, then let's take the first commercial break, and
Okay.
when we come back, we will continue learning more about you, learning more about your story, and how we can see you in the theater or in films
Yeah.
around the Central Florida area, or also in the apps right now on air. But let's take this short commercial break, and when we come back, we will learn more about Mr. Dean Phillippi Sr. here in Beeline to Passports on GKI Radio. We are back. We are back from this short commercial break. Great music here in GKI Radio. My name is Joe Batista. I'm your host, and this is Beeline to Passports. Tonight, we have the lifestyle model and actor Dean Phillippi here in our show. Dean, I was reading your MDB bio, and
Yeah.
I was reading an area very interesting, and I like to share this part with our audience, and we have audience around the world. This is one of the most beautiful things here with our audience. Uh,
Awesome.
Mr. Dean Philippi is an award winner, SAG eligible actor. Also, is a lifestyle model, and he has been done many feature films, independent films, shorts, music videos, also theater, stage, dance plays. But also, Mr. Dean Philippi is a Vietnam War veteran. Thank you for your service, sir.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome.
And he was a professional football player in the American Football League in Washington with the Washington Generals. Sir,
Yes.
let me ask you, what else
Yes.
do you do? That's awesome. That that's
Yeah.
awesome. You know, um, having all this experience, life experience, you can bring a lot to films.
Oh,
Uh, being bringing like the character as a veteran, as a football player, coach,
yes.
because you have the knowledge on all these areas.
Yeah.
Um, have you been already in films, bringing, doing these parts?
Oh my, yes. Oh yes. Eh, um, I've done a lot of coaching. Well, not a lot, but I've done a few films as a coach, and
Oh,
mentor for football players and so forth. And yes, most definitely. I just did a commercial as a Vietnam veteran, and then that's going to be coming out here pretty soon. And also, there's a film that yes, a few films I have played in that. And yeah, I currently belong to the Vietnam Veterans Association here in Jacksonville. And we do parades, we do the NFL games, and we do a lot of ceremonies. And we wear the Vietnam War fatigues in our events. And so it's quite an honor. I'm the color guard captain, so I carry the American flag. And there was about 22 of the men that was with me that carried the flags and marched with me as well. But yeah, I did total 12 years with the Washington Generals with a helmet.
yeah,
And
yeah, because there was an era without that, and
yeah,
yes,
if my if I shake a bit, that's a little that came with the territory. But and I don't regret it. We didn't get paid what they're paid today. Okay, just to say
yes.
that. But I enjoyed it. It was a sport that I love to do, and uh, I did enough to uh, I had to get some knees replaced, and that's when I put the end to my career with that. And and then during the Vietnam War, a lot of people don't know. When I graduated, that was hanging over our head, the draft, the Vietnam War draft. So I can't begin to tell you how it felt. In other words, if you have goals to go to college, to get a career, to get married, or just to do something, that was diminished. The only thing that was on your mind constantly was every morning waking up and if your number was picked as part of the top 10, and if it was, you were drafted immediately and you went to the front lines. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So at that point, my parents were really awesome people. They were a Christian family. They were teasing me. They kept saying, well, we're going to ship you off to Canada you know
Oh, wow.
to avoid the draft. And But it was a dark time of the life living with that, having the fret of that. So I enlisted in the U.S. Navy, during that era, and but it was something, part of my life that I just don't talk too much about,
Yes.
and I find a lot of soldiers from that era. So yeah, I didn't get to do any film or anything during that era of my life. It wasn't until I got out of the military that I got involved into acting. And again, my parents were very Christian family that raised me in a Baptist uh, church. So, I had that extensive growing it's been with me through this day. And I cherish it, and, you know, uh, Joe, I'm with JC Films here in Jacksonville.
Yes.
You mentioned on Orlando,
Hmm.
and I just finished two films with Cameron Arnett. Uh, we did a film down in Orlando called "Don't Say My Name." If you
Okay.
And then Cameron and I just finished a film called Unaware, and they're both faith based. And I guess uh, I, the thing that I'm driving to is, when I prayed about this, and I still do, to be more engaged, more involved, more faith based opportunities. Uh, God has overwhelmed me here this last year. And what I mean by that is, uh, He's blessed me with the opportunities to do human trafficking. That was the Don't Say My Name.
Yes.
Unaware is dealing with everything about bullying and anything, to that matter. I'll be doing another film called Blind Drive Ahead, and it's also about teenage drinking and driving, texting, bullying
Hmm.
as well.
Yes.
And
Very.
then I'm currently, I just did a scene yesterday. You probably heard of this. It's with Sean Roberts in Orlando. Amrak, my new family.
Yes.
I-
Yes.
Okay, well, I play God in that one, and
Oh wow.
yeah. So in that film, as you know, AMRAC is a organization for bullying, and
Yes.
not for not just kids and students. It's for adults and anybody to that matter that's been bullied. So uh, God has blessed me with the opportunities to do films that are, based around these hardships that people are going through in life and how to make it better, by reaching out and being with God, walking in the faith of God and believing in God and becoming a Christian. So that means a lot to me. I'll be very honest, 2 years ago, I wouldn't think that I would have had that opportunity. And it's because of the opportunity of I do a lot of diversity roles. And what I mean by that, I've played God. This will be my fifth role as a God in a film. And president, senator, judge, lawyer, school teacher, principal, sheriff, just like yourself, deputy,
Yeah.
and my closet's full of costumes. FBI agent.
Yeah.
So
In every film, like, okay, okay, I saw this. Let me save it just in case.
yeah,
I have I have
and the,
police vests and belts, everything for police. Uh, yeah, I- and in the last one, also I was doing two at the same time,
yeah,
and both are feature films,
uh,
and that was the hardest one because in one I was doing acting
yeah,
and also part of the crew.
oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
helping, and I was doing lights, sound, everything that was needed.
yeah,
Also I did the scouts and also bringing casting, but that one that took probably 3.5 months on filming that one. But at the
yeah,
same time, I accept another role,
uh-huh.
also on a crew, and
Oh,
become a mayor, for Myers mayor, before the hurricane.
oh, yeah,
Yes.
so,
And that one, that was my first movie, and they're gonna have this event on the 5th of November here in Altamont Springs, in the Central Florida area.
yeah,
They're gonna have all the short films. Then we went to a challenge, and
okay,
it's over 50 films.
yeah,
Then it was done, and that one, then I was the mayor.
uh-huh.
They're gonna be. in that festival.
Yeah.
Uh, and that was my first movie, or in this particular case, we did the feature film and we did a short version just for this as a
Yeah.
short film.
Hmm.
uh, and that was with action. I did stunts, and I would have a fight and all these great things. They beat me up as well, but that was fun, and I learned a lot. We have two stunt coordinators during
Wow.
the film, and that was pretty cool. Doing
That's awesome. Yeah, if you think about it, the opportunities and the roles that and you can do, crew, actor, whatever it may be, stunt. People are going to remember that, okay, and they're going to call upon you for that opportunity. You know, I,
Yes.
I do the same thing, especially with JC Films. You end up being part of the crew, which is fine. And you may be aware of this as well. Jason Campbell has 22 work groups across the United States,
Yes.
and to think of that, he's planting the Christian seed in all these cities and making faith-based films, and that's such an awesome thing.
Yes.
It's a blessing.
Internationally, I become a good friend of the JC film, um, from Uganda.
Yeah,
We
yeah, that's
shot
right. They did take it over there. Yeah,
we shot a lot, and we share ideas. And hey, God is the only one can say, "Hey, let's put you on a plane and take it to." You never know. You never know. Uh,
yeah,
God willing, because that will be an awesome experience.
yeah,
To oversee film, most
yeah.
definitely.
Because I know he's going to be. He's finishing up in God's time up in West Virginia now,
Hmm.
and I think then he's going to be heading to do things over there. Uh, and he'll probably take a crew with him, I would imagine.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
we
yeah.
did the one we did here in Jacksonville. It was called Success Camp,
Hmm.
and it's a true story. It's about Jacksonville has a it's a parent help center, and what this is they bring in people from all over the United States, the parents and with children, with that are they're challenging in life. That's a polite way of saying it, and either they learn God's way, the Christian way, or the next step is to go into reform school or worse, prison.
That's
And
right.
so the parents bring their kids to this camp, and they could do a weekend or they can do a 30-day opportunity there at the camp. And the parents will stay there the weekend, and they're coached as well. They're looking for help,
Hmm.
and so they're giving them. They have counselors that are there that help them with whatever it may be to work with the issue, resolve the issue, or how to do it better or handle it better. And then the kids are, they go through. They have to work. All the time they're there. They have chores, and then there's a national cemetery right next to it where they go and they help take care of the cemetery. There's a lot of farming around there that they learn to do good things about that, and then they have classrooms, talking about behavior, attitudes, and so forth. So I play one of the parents. There's 5 parents involved, and we're going through true circumstances that have actually happened, and it's how we're approached and dealing with the issue, and then and bottom line is the success of it afterwards. And they have a lot of success at that parent help center, and it's overwhelming. And the lives that they've touched throughout the nation, and they're doing this, free of hurt of heart. They're blessed people. Glenn Ellison and his wife Sheila, and if you look it up, Parent Help Center, that they're located here in Jacksonville, Florida. So that's a stage that they go through, and if they don't get better, then the next step is to have to deal with the system, and the system being reform school. Or but
And,
so
yeah.
that film there was based on that, and that's in editing right now. So we're going to be finishing that up pretty soon. We'll probably have a premiere with that one. we'll probably have a premiere for Unaware. That's the one I just did with Cameron Arnett, and
Yes.
and then Don't Say My Name. It's premiering. They did a lot of tour in the other countries. Okay, and why? Because human trafficking is so big. So they're
Yes.
showing that film over there. It's about a true story too. So I work in that film with Cameron Arnett, and then they're going to bring it stateside. So definitely you'll see a premiere in Orlando, and I'll be coming down to see that one as well. And
Awesome.
then we just finished up a film called The Ride, and it was a Christian film here. We did it here in Jacksonville. If you recall Paul Sorvino, who played
Yes.
in Goodfellas, well, Paul's in that, and Mark Justice and Savannah Jokel. Dean Cain is in it as well. Um, I play Father Matthew in that film, and so we just had our premiere of that film. So it's going to be showing in theaters, and they actually are premiering it out in Los Angeles this week, is what I understand. And
Nice.
it's a lot of that film is being dedicated to Paul Sorvino. As you know, he just passed away, and
Yes.
it was quite an honor to get to work with him. So I've been blessed. I've been overwhelmed. God has put me in a position. Well, Dean, what are you going to do? I'm going to bless you with these opportunities, and you got to give it your best, and that's what I'm doing because I'm thankful. I really
Awesome.
am. Do you ever feel like you're spoiled because God has helped you and blessed you with opportunities, and it's so overwhelming that oh boy, and He has in this last year and a half, 2 years, He has really touched me and uh, I keep thinking, well, Joe, I've had prostate cancer, melanoma cancer, carcinoma cancer. Then last year I had a pulmonary embolism. So
Wow.
I joke about it. I'm blessed to be here today. He's not ready for me yet, so
No.
yeah.
And we need you over here in more, many, 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 many more years.
Yeah, and I feel like I tell everybody I feel like a yo-yo, like I come down to earth and no, then I get illness and I go up to him and he's nope, get back down there. So
Definitely.
and I'm just taking advantage of every opportunity. Uh, by the way, I am a Boy Scout chaplain. This is my 18th year with that, working with youth, and
Wow.
you know. I'm very honored. I teach a lot of pray programs within that system, and you know, to be an Eagle Scout, you have to believe there's a God. So, that's a pleasure at all. My son, my youngest one, he went all the way through to be an Eagle and got 4 palms, Eagle palms after that. And I thought I'd quit at that point, but I just can't because the kids they're hungry for opportunities such as this. And now it's scouting. It's not specifically Boy Scouting. It's scouting. Girls are in the scouting troop as well now, and they go
Yeah.
after Eagle Mare. So
Yeah.
it's an honor. It's quite an honor. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a busy man. My wife and I, we both. She's a Christian lady. I love her. She keeps busy with everything. She laughs a lot of things that I get into, and I've had her in 2 films, I guess it is, and one or 2 music videos. But she
Nice.
doesn't like the business. She doesn't like the, and she was a model herself, but she doesn't like the business at all. But she goes with me. I when I travel, she goes with me, and
And have that support. That is important. Definitely.
yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I've been blessed, Joe. It's an honor, and I keep telling everybody, well, I'm riding that bull. He hasn't kicked me off yet, so I'm gonna keep riding that bull and give it my best. Hang in there. And
Awesome.
I'm loving it. I really am. I love acting. Like I say, I've done a diversity of roles in this business, and whatever they call upon me to do a role, I'll do whatever they want me to be. To that matter, as long as it's definitely a Christian film, it's clean and loving, and or it has a good thing about it with no foul language or anything out of the nature, I'll do that. So,
Awesome.
yeah, I'm enjoying it to the extent. There's a few others that's still in the works. The Key I did up in St. Mary's, Georgia. Um, there's some, well, AMRAC I mentioned on that one with Sean Roberts. Uh, we're not finished with that one. I just did a scene yesterday. So, have you met Sean?
Not yet, not yet. But I would love to meet him because they have many projects in the Christian film industry.
Yeah,
Then be great to learn more and start getting uh, basically by feet wet in
yeah.
that area
Oh my
because
God.
we
Yeah,
always said, the idea is to have the Christian film more often
yeah,
than in bringing the opportunities to the people to see, know the they. I remember this on a JC film, um, actors training basically that they did in Orlando.
yeah.
They were talking, and one of the big issues was people always seeing the Christian film like, oh, okay, we've seen Mary, we've seen Joseph, that part, yeah,
You're
but
right.
they
Right.
don't think then there was more,
Yeah,
like having the actual situations in the world
presented. Yeah, yeah.
presented and
Mhm.
seeing it on with the Christian vision that
Yeah.
never was done and since probably a couple years ago
Hmm.
with the film and other Christian industry film industry companies, they've
Yeah.
been changing that and
Right.
bringing that to the big screen.
Right.
I remember uh, in the past, I have a good friend. They did in Kissimmee, Florida. They
Uh-huh.
did a film, and I went to the premiere, and that was awesome. That was a feature film that was amazing,
Yeah.
amazing to watch.
Yeah.
But after that, they stopped, and there was no funding because people didn't want to fund that kind of movies. They were
Yeah.
looking more for the Hollywood movies. Like, come on,
Uh, Yeah.
we need to bring more of these themes to the big screen because
Yeah.
it's been on TV many years.
Yeah.
Uh, with a Lifetime, for example,
Uh-huh.
uh, channel and other channels, then they featured these ones, but people has not seen it like, hey, this is a very strong industry.
Yeah. It's so important too because with the things that our children get exposed to today, and then the opportunity to do a faith-based film, or just a film it's just has a statement in it. Um, I had the friends that tell me the same things that you mentioned there. Well, I don't want to see a film that's going to preach to me. Well,
Exactly.
if you look at all the films that are out there on Pure Flix and Faith Base, they're true reality life that people have gone through.
Yes.
And their hardship, they get the right person to come into their life, or they realize that, gee, I just need to reach out to God and pray about my situation, and or have the person, a pastor or a father, give them good advice, or a parent, whatever it may be. And so to me, the opportunity of having more and more uh, films like this to just matter. We need that so much in the world to that extent. Um, and now I think we're seeing more when when the Kendrick brothers come out with the War Room, and then
Hmm.
you probably saw the one that Cameron won, The Overcomer. Uh, those are
And
good. I mean, they come
the
out
other,
and they gave a strong message.
the
Okay.
other courage,
Oh my,
courage.
yeah,
That was
courage. Good.
courage.
Yeah.
I have a DVD here in my home, and seeing that kind of movies, the people don't. That was basically the transition. I can say it, that people can see. Oh, this is not only for the Bible, the chapters, the Mary. When you see Courage
Yeah.
and you see other movies, like, wait,
Uh-huh.
there been a message
Oh
in
yeah.
that movie, but
Right.
it's the day to day what we live.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And that's so. And the thing is that Jason Campbell is doing, if you notice, that he's doing things based on what's happening in today's world, you know,
Yes,
and just to be a part of that, you have a lot going on in Orlando, which is
yes,
awesome. I've done two things with Full Sail University.
mhm,
I played a president in their back lot, and my plane, that my Air Force One got blown up. It didn't
okay,
actually happen. They just simulated it.
yes, yes, I
And
know.
then I did a music video down there with them. And boy, they have the best. If you've been in Full Sail University, they've got the best there,
Yes,
and the
yes,
school. And a lot of those kids are graduating, and they're going on to. I think what was it? Last year they had 12 to 17 graduates that were actually on Oscar-winning nominated films.
correct,
Well, you,
correct,
you can't beat that. But yeah,
definitely.
I've had the opportunity to work with it. I started out in the business. I have friends that just want to do extras work, and they're happy with it. But and I admit I probably did it too. But um, I automatically said, well, wait a minute, I got to be speaking. If I'm going to be in a film, I want to have a role where I'm speaking, regardless.
Yes, and that's the
And
goal. That's the goal. You want to be in this business. Dean, let's take a short commercial break, and when we
okay,
come back, we continue talking about the projects. And I have a story about Full Sail that I want to share with you. But let's take this short commercial break, and um, when we come back, we will continue listening on the stories from Mr. Dean Philippi. Remember to drop a comment or question you would like to hear them answer on the show. The number is 407-476-9059. Remember to say my name, Joe Batista, followed by your name and your question or comment. And you could also hear it here in Beeline to Passports on GKI Radio. We are back. We are back from this short commercial break and great music. And you're listening GKI Radio. My name is Joe Batista. I'm the host of Beeline to Passports. And tonight we have Mr. Dean Philippi, Senior. And Dean, like I said, I want to share this story with you regarding Full Sail. I
okay.
had the opportunity to be in a short film with uh, a great student graduate. He's amazing. Uh, I seen this gentleman. His name is Judge Bing. Uh, I seen this gentleman to be one of the big names in Hollywood because this guy have a vision when he does the films. I did the Book of Alexio with him. I was a gunman. I told you, I've been everything, included a gunman on a film. And the vision that the gentleman have, he's been winning in all his short films. every single short film
Yeah.
been winning awards.
Wow. That's
And
awesome.
he decided, okay, he finished his master's. And after he finished the master, he decided to go and take another master's to manage business, the film business industry and or the entertainment industry. And this opportunity came, and that's when I started meeting people. And one of the actress that I met on that film, I now is a great friend of mine. She have many opportunities, included she have already booked film with Samuel L. Jackson,
Wow. Wow.
Scarlett Johansson,
Oh my goodness.
and my go-to Denzel Washington.
Oh my goodness.
Imagine, and she only have 18 years old.
Oh wow. Bless her heart.
Yes,
That's a blessing there. That's a blessing.
and she said she started very young, singing. And she's a singer, actress. She did theater,
Yeah.
uh, but something she's been in this show many times, and we part of the conversation was how you prepare yourself to get into the career
Yeah. Yeah.
and to start looking to have book films like
Yeah.
that.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's amazing, especially at 18 years old. Yeah, she's going to have a long career.
Yes,
And
it is. Yes,
you
it
know,
is.
people look at your IMDb record and see the films that you've done, and you know who she's worked with. That's a blessing. And boy, she's going to have a very awesome career. Let's put it that way. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't start in it till in the film till 2010, and you know I did stage before that, but it wasn't until 2010. And at the time, I think I only did commercials. I started out doing commercials only, but then I dove into the films at that point. But yeah, I compliment somebody like that. I worked here. I help out with student classes, and what I mean by that is I'll give them ideas of what I'm doing. You know, you have to have first off a resume, but then once your resume gets you in the door, it's all about you. You got to basically uh, perform the role that they're asking you to do. And the one thing that's most importantly is your voice. Um,
Yes.
you know, I tell the students all the time to if they cast you, it's for you. Okay. uh, in you meaning your voice,
Yeah.
your demeanor, your actions and role, and your performance. So the reason why I say that, Joe, is I know when I started out, I was pretty much pretentious,
Hmm.
okay, with my voice, and I overacted, just to be very honest. And quickly I learned just to be natural and you perform better. Your voice, you got to be calm and collective. And, in my acting classes, they taught us the breathing method to relax and, right before you do a scene. And it's not only to relax, it's just to be able to speak, your lines efficiently and properly and relax your mind to say
Yes.
your lines.
Yes.
So that, the voice has been to me very vital when I do different roles. The scene that I did yesterday with God. Uh, again, I'm a future I'm a God in humanistic form. And if you recall, uh, when Morgan Freeman and George Burns, when they played God, uh, they were just themselves. And so in this Amrak film that I'm doing, I wear a white suit similar to what they have, and I speak as God. So my demeanor and my voice has to be authentic. Let's put it that way. And who knows how God speaks? Or we have pictures that we understand that how God looked uh, in a robe and so forth. But uh, when I did these roles, Joe, to be very honest, I looked upwards and I said, I pray that I do this well for you in honor to you and respect to you. Don't strike me dead, for goodness sakes,
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
You want to emulate, but you say, "Hey, I don't know if this is your way, but I'm gonna do it like I think you're gonna talk to
yeah,
these people."
yeah,
Definitely.
that is so true. I mean, I one scene I expel Satan from heaven,
Uh-huh.
and that was a stern voice of God doing that. And
Yes.
but anyway, so yeah, I teach them about the voice control of yourself. That means so important, and the way your comfort, the relaxation of doing the scene and so forth. So over the years, I myself on the job training have taught myself, and I watch, observe, other actors and their demeanor, their behavior, and pick up things like that. And then the memorization. Everybody has a different way, right?
Yes. Yes.
And so I've had long scripts for short ones, but you know you got to approach it as they hired you for you, and
Correct.
your voice, your demeanor, your behavior, the way you talk, and the way you walk, and the way you look, and don't be pretentious outside of that. But pretentious with your voice or acting. So that come with a lot of on the job training, you know. And then you
Correct.
watch it, you see your film afterwards, you're like, oh boy, I could have done
Yeah.
that one a lot better.
You basically criticize yourself
I could be, oh
every
my
time,
goodness, I could be my worst
but it's
critic.
good. It's good to see because you can do better in the next one, and
And
you
then,
can,
yeah,
okay, I can do this better. I can have this, or hey, let me go and take some other classes that help me to do this better, and then the people they see the film can
yeah,
feel more into the character.
yeah, yeah, believable. That's what
But
it's all about, believable. I can't emphasize that very much. I mean, everything that you do that I do, uh, the character's got to be believable, and I care. And
yes,
like I say, I am my worst critic, and I'll be hard on myself because of that. I'll ask the director. I'll put my hands up and just say, I want to redo that one. You know,
yeah,
you
definitely.
know, 'cause, and that's another thing too. When you're handed a script, the writer has in mind what he expects how it's going to be said or
Yes,
how to be acted and said. And so that helps me because when they come on set, I'll ask them, how is this? What's your presentation with this? And then I run with it. And and if I don't feel comfortable, I'll say I want to do this a different way.
yeah. We need to become a kind of a chameleon when in this industry, because you need to go with what the director wants,
Yeah,
uh, and because they have the vision of how they want that scene done, and
yeah,
different takes than they want to do it, or
that-
the different ways than they want to do that scene, and
right.
definitely.
And Joe, as well. Um, uh, I did Losing Faith, and this one here, I play Father. I'm sorry, yeah, I play Pastor Bell in that one. Um, they could video you. 10 times from your right side, then
Hmm.
10 times from your left side, 10 times behind you, and 10 times in front of you. And then
Yes.
you speaking to the other person, and then the other person speaking to you. So you could have, trust me, that, and I had almost a 5-page script that I was doing each time, and talking to somebody back and forth, right? And it was just the director was trying to get the darkness, the comfort of the room,
All
or
right.
we had a few planes fly over, somebody was cutting the grass, or
Or somebody making noise don't supposed to be in that. Hey, everybody needs to be quiet on set.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can have the opportunities, and but anyway, that's part of the course. That's part of the, and my wife will say, I don't know how you can do it. I said, well, you know, bottom line is when the film is shown, you're happy, the director's happy, the writer's happy, everybody's happy with it. And if
And
it took
continue. Yeah. And so
if
forth.
it took 10, 20 times to make it happen, they picked the best one of it all.
Yes. Yeah.
No lawnmower noise, no plane or somebody whistling or
That's right. That's right. Then let's take the last commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to have all your social media, where the people can follow you, where the people can look all your films,
okay.
and all that a good thing, a good information for our audience. But let's take this commercial break, and people, thank you for being with us, learning about Mr. Dean Philippi Senior here in our show Beeline to Passports. We'll be right back with more of Beeline to Passports on GKI Radio. We are back. We are back from commercial break. Great music. Here is Beeline to Passport on JKI Radio. My name is Joe Batista. I'm your host. And tonight we have Mr. Dean Philippi. He's a lifestyle model. Also, he is an actor. Dean, where the people can see your movies, the films that you has been participated, where the people can follow you,
Mhm.
your IMDb, Instagram, or Facebook, all that great social media that people can follow you.
Sure. I'm on Facebook, obviously. I have my own personal profile out there under my name, Dean Phillippi Senior, and then I have an actor page on Facebook. It's Dean Phillippi, actor, lifestyle model. It's my actor page, and on that page, that's where I put just about all the films, commercials, and prints that I do in my life, and they're basically all put on that page there. And my profile, I will sometimes share things on that, but it's a lot of things that my wife keeps me busy with my own personal life as well. So, you know, we're we're avid kayakers, so you'll see a lot of kayaking photos out there. So, okay, I have an actor page out there that's on Facebook. So, yeah, I would be honored if anybody wants to look me up and follow me because I do share opportunities. In other words, if we're doing a film and we need other roles, other extras, or whatever it may be, I put that on
Yes.
my actor page. Just yes, I am on Instagram. It's under the same name, Dean Philippi SR. Okay, so I'm on Instagram as well. Um, and then obviously IMDb. You can look me up on IMDb to see the films that I've done. And, IMDb is pretty much everybody that has done any films, commercials, or whatever it may be. That's where it's kept and stored. And it's, pretty much your life history with film industry. So all that information is kept out there, and the photos. With every film, Joe, that I've done, there's a photo out there. A behind the scenes photo or whatever it may be, and so those are out there. So you'll get the opportunity to see those. Where are my films shown? They'll be on PureFlix. I've seen them out there on Amazon Prime, Netflix. Um, uh, the ones that are independent, I guess they put them out there. A lot of them now are on Amazon Prime. Uh, I think James Hunter, that's in Orlando as well, he's putting a lot of his things out there on both Netflix and Amazon Prime as well. So I've done two films with him. But anyway, that's where you can reach out to me. Again, I'm proud of what I do. I love what I do. I love keeping busy, doing this Christian films. That is my life right now. And we need to be doing more things in favor to God. And we have to be the leaders in this and give something that's better to look into the eyes of our children, adults as well, something that's more, nutritional in life and fulfilling in life that they need to see, visibly see, and the circumstances,
Correct.
that we go through, behavior, like I mentioned, the human trafficking, the bullying, the texting, the drinking and driving, all those things that everybody's challenged with today, and the world is having a hard time with. And this tells you some of the things that we're going with, the opportunity that we're going to be overcoming a lot of it. So that's where you can reach out to see a lot of these things. And I'm not done. There's quite a few coming up that they're still just to let you know, we did a remake of a 1920 black and white film called Dead on Arrival. Okay.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, and we did it in St. Augustine, and I play a detective in there. And Kurt St. Thomas, he's the director of that film, and we had the pleasure of using a lot of the locations in St. Augustine, if you can imagine. We
Nice.
we put it back in that era, that time, with everybody offered up their 1920 cars, and I'm wearing the 1920 outfit, and
Nice.
yeah, it's a good film, and it's a remake, and so it'll be it's on my Facebook page. You'll see a photo of it, so that'll be coming out. It's going to be premiering in St. Augustine. I think in February is when they're looking at one of the St. Augustine Film Festival that they have there. So
Awesome.
anyway, so
Awesome.
there's a lot of things that the films that I've worked on, they're all coming to fruition. And what I mean by that is they're getting done with the editing part of it, and they're going to be premiering here pretty soon, which is awesome. And yeah, I mean, if
Awesome.
everybody follows my Facebook page, my actor page, you'll see when these premieres are coming up. And if you want to go see the films in the premiere, that would be awesome. I would be honored to have that happen. So yeah,
Okay.
that is the
Thank
best way to keep in touch with me. Um, all things in favor to God. We're
Amen. Amen.
we're doing, you know, to our Heavenly Father. So I'm blessed,
Amen.
and I'm blessed that He gives me the opportunity. He's blessing me, so I'm thankful. Okay, regardless, I'm a spoiled child, and I'm here. He's got goals. He's got plans for me. He's not ready for me to go away yet.
Well, for me, it has been a pleasure having you on this show, Dean. And also, I need to thank God because we've been trying to do this interview for a while, and finally, is done, is completed.
Yeah.
But again, thank you for the opportunity to interview you, know more about you, your career, know all the projects that you've been involved, and the future projects that you're looking. And definitely, we're going to have something that we can work together.
Yeah.
Just I just bring. I always said I just declare that in God's favor that going to happen. But
Oh, that.
again, Dean, thank you for your time. Thank you for being with us in this show. And people, thank you for being with us in another Beeline to Passports. And remember, be a leader, rock the world, inspires others with your emotions in control. Good
Yes.
night.
Amen. Thank you so much. It's been an honor. Thank you, Joe.